Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Alain Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na Pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hello. Okay, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. We are already in our third week for third quarter. And once again, this is Tutor Shen who will guide you and assist you to understand better our lesson and activities for health optimizing physical education 4. Welcome po sa ETUlay online tutorial for senior high school students, particularly for grade 12. Good morning again to our viewers from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, especially to our learners. Magandang umaga din po sa ating mga parents and sa mga kapwa ko guro. Let me greet personally po ang ating mga viewers. Good morning, Nila A. Piñon. She is watching from Morong National High School. Good morning po. Also, good morning to Mel Dorado, watching from Santo Angel Elementary School, Division of San Pablo City. And welcome sa ating ETUlay online tutorial, Trisha May Minglana Alviar from Canaan East National High School. Good morning then, Erza Ulep. Okay, thank you. Once again, this is Tutor Shen. And we have our third week for third quarter for Health Optimizing Physical Education 4. Once again, our online tutorial for this subject is every Tuesday from 11 o'clock to 12 noon. And before we finally start our discussion and the lesson po, let's have a quick warm up. Okay? I-prepare muna natin ang ating mga katawan to keep us alive and alert for today's discussion. And you can see here different examples of recreational activities since we focus on recreational activities. You have there basketball, fishing, dancing, online games, boating, and swimming. Now, as I mentioned a particular recreational activity, okay, we are going to perform and execute a certain movement. For example, for basketball, okay, our movement will be like this. Okay? So ito po ay sa basketball. For fishing is this one. Okay? Fishing. This is fishing. Dancing. All right? Online games. Boating. Okay, this is for boating. And then lastly, for swimming. Okay, so those are the movements that we are about to perform once I mention a particular recreational activity. So are you guys ready? Okay, kindly give me a thumbs up sa inyo pong chat box para malaman ko po na ready na tayong lahat. Okay? Okay? Yes. Ayan. Sige po, let's start with our warm-up activity. Okay, so wait for the recreational activity po, no? Okay, sige po, we're gonna start with basketball, okay? And everybody, please perform the movement of basketball. Okay, swimming. Okay, now let's do online games. Okay, let's have voting. Okay, dancing. Okay, everybody, let's do fishing. Basketball, once again. Okay, all right, very good, students. Okay, so I hope you were energized for our today's warm-up. Again and again, let me welcome and good morning our viewers. We have Angelica Joy de la Cruz. Good morning. Chenelyn Habay-Habay. Good morning. Hannah Marie Hamon. Good morning. Even Evelyn Meraballas, okay, from Antipolo City. So good morning po sa inyong lahat. Okay, and we are finally having our lesson for third quarter. It's lesson 3, entitled Moderate to Vigorous Physical Activities. Okay, particularly the kind of recreational activity that we have to learn today is about mountaineering activities. I know you already have an idea about mountaineering activities. Okay, so let me show you our most essential learning competency. So particularly, we have to learn, okay, how to engage in moderate to vigorous physical activities, the MVPAS, or the moderate vigorous physical activities for at least 60 minutes, most days of the week in a variety of setting in and out of school. I know some part of NCR in Laguna, in Rizal, okay, nasa MECQ na po tayo. And if we are in MECQ, somehow we could have limited outdoor exercises, okay? Such as, for example, we can have yung jogging, okay? Possible na po, no? Pwede na ang walking, ang jogging, ang pagtatakbo, ang bisikleta. But then on, still we have to, we have to follow po yung mga ating mga pag-wear ng face mask, and also yung mga safety protocols while doing this kind of activity. And here are the objectives na ating dapat matutunan, okay, dapat nating ma-achieve. So we have here engage in moderate to vigorous physical activity for at least 60 minutes most of the days of the week in a variety of setting in and out of school. Another one is discuss the nature and background of mountaineering activities. Identify the basic fundamental skills in hiking. And lastly, let's be familiarized with the different facilities and equipment used in mountaineering activities. So are you guys ready? Okay. Sige nga po, can you give me a smile, a smiley po? Can you type sa ating comment box ng smiley for me to know that you are ready to have our lesson? Okay. Alright, so watching with us, we also have Colleen Quaresma, Monica de la Cruz. Okay, maraming smiley for Mayen Martal. Okay, smiley with a heart para kay Hannah Marie Laresa Hamon. Okay, good morning sa'yo, Jalaila Ismael Ganco. I guess you are all ready because you're giving me your smiles. Okay, and let's have a quick review regarding our previous lesson as well. Last time we studied about principles of physical activities and the fit principles, as well as the indoor wall climbing. Now, for today's activity, I want you to identify the following principles. So I want you to type in our comment box the letter of the correct answer. Let's start. Now, what principle is considered a development or continuation of the overload principle? Anybody? Can you please type your answer? Is it A, overload principle, B, principle of progression, C, principle of specificity, or D, principle of reversibility? Okay, so what is your answer? Type in your answer in our chat box, in our comment box. All right, for Iluminada, Chenilyn, okay, letter B ang kanilang answer. Okay. Yes, Evangeline Deliosa, letter B ang kanyang answer. Very good, students. When we talk about the principle of continuation and development, that is what we call principle of progression. Same thing with Evelyn and Angelica. Very good answer. Let's have the next question, number 2. What principle states that a body part gains according to its relevance to the conducted physical activities? A, is it overload principle? B, principle of progression. C, principle of specificity. Or letter D, principle of reversibility. What is your answer? The answer is, kindly type using the comment box. What principle? It is? Yes, okay. The body part that gains according to its relevance, their answer, Chenilyn again, Illuminada, and then Lanilyn. Their answer is letter C. Yes, that is definitely correct. It's the principle of specificity. Next. Which among the principles of physical activity is described as the use it or lose it principle? Is it A, overload principle, B, principle of progression, C, principle of specificity, or letter D, principle of reversibility? What is your answer, my dear students? Lanilyn, her answer is letter D. Okay, principle of reversibility. How about the others? So same thing with Evelyn. The answer is letter D. Very good. Mayan, yes, that is right. The answer for this is the principle of reversibility. Okay, very good work, students. Let's have number 4. How about the fit principle that refers to the duration spent in doing recreational activity to increase the progress and overload of an activity? So what fit principle is this? Is it A, frequency, B, intensity, C, time, or letter D, type? Can you tell me what is this fit principle? We have letter. Yes, the duration spent in doing this recreational activity. Yes, we have this. It is letter. Very good. It is letter C. It pertains to, yes, definitely it pertains to time. So Angelica also got the correct answer. Very good. And last question po. Which among the fit principle pertains to the number of times recreational activities are done in a week? Okay. It usually answers how many. Okay. So can you type in using the comment box? What is this fit principle? A, frequency, B, intensity, C, time, or letter D, type? Okay, what fit principle? Yes, very good, Iluminada. Okay, Iluminada Valdivia Estinos. Yes, that is correct. And also Lanilyn and Angelica, your answer is letter A. The correct answer is frequency. Okay, very good. Very well answered, students. It seems that you really master itong mga fit principles and principles of physical activity since junior high school, and when you were in grade 11 as well, we are also dealing with these principles. Now, let's have another activity. I want you to guess who is this person that I'm about to present. Okay, so let's have the activity Guess Who. All right. Now, who is this person? Guess who? Naaalala niyo pa po ba siya? Okay, so let me check using the comment box. Yes, Tricilia Kate Sungsong. Yes, he is Mr. Garduse. Yes, that's correct. Can you tell me ano po kaya ang kanyang pangalan? Kay Angelica naman de la Cruz ay Romeo. So sige nga po, ano po ang full name nitong sa ating screen? He is? Okay. Yes, he is Romeo, also kilala as Romeo Garduse. Right? Yes, that is correct. So that is Romeo Garduse. Okay. Now, sino po ba siya? Can you give me some details about this person, about Mr. Romeo Garduse? Who is he? Okay, anybody would like to share their thoughts? Sino po? Saan po nakilala si Mr. Romeo Garduse? Ano po kaya ang naging contribution niya sa Pilipinas? Saan po siya naging kilala? Yes, let me hear your answer. Okay. Yes, Mayen. Again, what's your answer, Mayen? Can you for me to read it well? Sino po si Romeo Garduse? The first Filipino to climb Mount Everest. Okay? Actually, meron po, may mga nagtangka na rin na mag-climb ng Mount Everest. Okay? Actually, correct answer for Angelica Joy de la Cruz. Actually, the first Filipino who was able to complete the 7 summit. O yung Renion 7 summit. Okay? So just imagine, no, yung mga kung gaano sa tingin niyo gaano kataas ang na-accomplish ang naiakyat ni Romeo Garduse. Sa the seven summit, it includes, yes, kagaya ng sinasabi ni Priscilla, yes, we have the Mount Everest, that is correct. Also the Aconcagua from South America, Denali in North America, the Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, the Mount Elbrus in Europe, okay, and also aside from that, ang Mount Carstens. And lastly, yung pangpito is yung Mount Vinson in Antarctica. Yes. So that is Romeo Garduse. So meaning to say, in this kind of activity, right? Naging kilala si Romeo Garduse in terms of mountaineering activity. And that is what we are going to study today. It's about mountaineering activities. And I would like to ask this essential question, okay? Since we were talking about mountaineering activity, okay? Now, can you tell me, how will you benefit from engaging to physical activity like mountaineering? Ano po kaya ang maaaring maiambag sa atin if we engage to this kind of recreational activity? So can you cite some benefits of mountaineering? Yeah, it can be in the physical aspect, or pwede rin naman emotional, social benefits. Now you can give a particular answer with the benefits when you engage in this kind of activity. Can you type in sa comment box? Ano po kaya ang maaari nating makuha? Okay, ano ang pwedeng maging epekto sa atin when we engage ourselves in mountaineering activities? So yes, for mountaineering, it is a outdoor recreational activity. Yes, so let me have Illuminada's answer, no? It can develop your cardiovascular and muscular endurance. Very good. For Evelyn, it can reduce one's stress. Yes, that's right. If you really enjoy the nature as well, it can reduce the stress that you experience. It also has social benefits from Chanelin. Yes, especially when you go mountaineering, you go in a group of friends or family, okay, where it can strengthen the relationship. Yes, that is correct. Very good. So these are just some of the benefits when we engage in this kind of physical activities. Good job. And now let's finally start our lesson about mountaineering. Let's define mountaineering. It is an outdoor recreational activity that is known as a sport of mountain climbing. Maaari ko po bang malaman sa ating mga viewers, anyone here, do you have any experience of this mountaineering activity? Can you give me a thumbs up sa mga nakapag mountaineering activity na po? Anybody from our viewers today, my dear students? Before this pandemic, no? Baka may mga experience na kayo during the before pandemic sa mga malalapit na bundok sa inyong mga lugar, or maybe you are part of a mountaineering organization or mountaineering group. For Glyza, so she doesn't have any experience with mountaineering activity. So later on, Glyza, let's know more about mountaineering, and let's see if you think you would enjoy this kind of activity, especially pag natapos na yung sitwasyon natin about the virus. Yes, for some, okay, they already have have experience about this activity. Okay, let us learn more about mountaineering. Okay, so again, it's an outdoor recreational activity, and it commonly we can have two exciting activities when we engage in mountaineering activities, such as we have this hiking and trekking. Well, particularly, I can show you later on po ang mga pagkakaiba, no? Sino po kaya sa kanilang dalawa, okay, ang mas challenging? Okay, any guess, students? Which one is more challenging? Is it hiking or trekking? Okay. All right, may nagsasabi na it's hiking, may nagsasabi na it's trekking. Okay, so let's figure out which one, okay, is more challenging. Let me show you the different characteristic. Okay, let's start with the duration. Now, for hiking, usually it lasts less than a day. Okay, depende din sa it would depend on the mountain na pupuntahan po ninyo. Unlike for trekking, it would last anywhere between a few days, weeks, or even months. So depende sa naplano, depende sa taas ng bundok na kanilang pinuntahan. So, particularly, longer sa trekking compared sa hiking. Yes. And then, when it comes to preparation, hiking, it does not typically require much planning. Though, still, you have to involve planning when it comes to the things that you have to bring, yung lugar for safety purposes as well. Now, we have here for trekking, it requires extensive planning and marked routes to take and locations to conquer, as trekking does not take place on marked trails. You need to prepare sufficient food and other essentials to last. So sabi din nga natin, it would take days, and sa mga dadaanan mo, no, somehow may mga ruta na somehow gusto nyo kasi mas ma-explore ang pinuntahan yung mountain, okay, and wala masyadong, syempre, if you want to explore, no, there wouldn't be a particular mark trail na meron dito sa lugar na ito. And syempre, that the planning for the food, the budget, okay, even yung plano physically, kung kaya ng katawan mo would that you would last for weeks or even months, okay, when you participate in trekking. Aside from that, let's have your trails. Pag sa hiking, it has usually marked trails, and then for trekking, okay, trails change during the course that lead to more liberty to trekkers, because sabi ko nga kanina, if they wanted to explore more the place, okay, they wouldn't follow those marked trails. And lastly, for the intensity, it requires moderate, intense physical preparation. So as we engage, yung sinasabi nating moderate to vigorous physical activity, so mapapansin natin that hiking, it is if we engage in this kind of activity, it can be considered a moderate physical activity. Meanwhile, for trekking, so again, sabi nga net, it would last for days, okay? And so trekking would require more intense physical training. Okay? Yung cardiovascular endurance mo, well, you are well prepared, okay? And even your muscular endurance, pwede rin kasama yung mental, the mental and emotional aspect, no? You have to be prepared as well onto this. Now, between hiking and trekking, which one do you think is more challenging? So kanina may trekking and may hiking na nag-answer. So this time, as I presented the characteristic of hiking and trekking, which one do you think is more challenging? Okay, let me see your answer. Can you please type in sa inyong comment box? Which one is more challenging? Is it hiking or trekking? Ayan. So, ngayon, o yung mga ibang nag-answer kanina ng hiking, ang answer na nila ngayon ay trekking. So, you finally understood the difference and which one is a more challenging activity, which one is a moderate physical activity and a vigorous type of activity. So, good job from Evelyn, Camille, Kat, Kaparas. Okay, their answers now are trekking. Okay. Now, here, this time we have to move on to the Mountaineering Essentials. So sabi natin, there would be preparation if you engage to this kind of activity. Now, what could be the different mountaineering essentials? Let me present to you the first one is we have their backpack. Okay, let us define what is a backpack. So it is a large pack that is supported by an external or internal frame and is used specially for carrying supplies when hiking and camping. Yeah. So when we have this backpack, no, masasabi natin that this is a very essential thing simply because all the things that we need, okay, ay nakalagay dito sa ating backpack. All right, so it's considered a small pack or a large pack that is good for a day's hike. Now, according to Wild Backpacker noong 2020, no, so we have two kinds of backpack. We have the internal backpack and also we have here the external backpack. I will also show you how would they differ, okay, from each other. Now, pag sinabi nating, okay, internal backpack, usually this is the standard backpacking frame type. Okay. Sabi, it is characterized with most weight at center, high between the shoulder blades and it is close to your back. Okay. Now, mapapansin ninyo dito sa ating frame. Okay. So, ito po ang example natin ng internal frame pack, okay, ng internal backpack. So, makikita natin yung distributing pack weight niya, no? So, sabi natin, for internal backpack, now, this is designed with the most weight at the center. Kaya, ang heavy, yung mga heavy na ginagamit natin, so you can see there the dark or the dark one, okay, this is the heavy part of the backpack wherein you have to include your supplies or your things na mabigat, yung pinaka mabigat. So you can also have here yung violet, okay, that is medium, and usually kapag mga lightweight object, dito siya sa bandang ibaba. Okay, so that's the description of internal backpack. Now, we have here external backpack. These are recommended for trail hiking only, and the heaviest item should be packed on top and closest to the back to center the pack's weight over the hips and help you to stay in a more upright stance. So here, let me show you yung external frame pack. Sabi natin, no, usually where you put yung mga heavy objects that you have to bring during this kind of activity, it is packed on, so it is located on the top. So you can see here, dito natin the usual inilalagay ang mga heavy objects. It's either yung tent ninyo o kaya yung sleeping bags ninyo. And then for medium objects, So at the center, and then here, para sa mga lightweight objects na inyong dadalhin. Alright, so that's the difference between the internal and external backpack. Aside from that, sa mga essentials na kailangan natin, we also have to bear in mind yung mga tips para when you pack your backpack. So here are some tips. So you have to find the right backpack, small bag for a day's hike. Especially yung backpack na dadalhin mo, it would depend how many days, okay, kayong mag-i-involve sa hiking or trekking. And aside from that, you have to put your sleeping bag at the bottom. Next, back breakers, heavier items should be kept at your back. So para at least with it at the back at mas yung balance and hindi siya masyadong mabigat. Unlike pag sa pinaka bottom mo siya nilalagay, no. Okay. Maaaring yung weight dahil mabigat siya, it would also drag you kasi nasa baba siya. So unlike for the center, no, yung balance mo, you could keep up with your balance. Next, plan for easy access maps, flashlights. So meaning to say, when you also have to prepare all the materials, no, in case of emergency and depending on the situation, you could easily access your flashlight, yung first aid mo, yung mga snack mo. Okay, and also don't waste space food inside cooking pots and zip clothes. So usually sa mga backpack, it consists of different may mga several pockets siya wherein you can put your essential things. Next, prevent food and gear spoilage, especially if you have to pack it, no, and mahirap na sa when you go to the mountain, walang hindi katulad na pag nasa bahay, your easy access on food ay nandun. So you really have to pack it very well and put it in your backpack well, okay, para hindi rin siya masayang. Next, waterproof your pack, especially when you go hiking or trekking. Sometimes kung hindi mo na plano na ang weather pala ay uulan, so somehow it would protect your things from being wet. Next is wear your pack correctly, proper tightening of straps, because it would kapag masyadong loose siya, ang tendency is yung bag ay pababa. So halos yung back din natin, no, the how we carry ourselves, so idadrag tayo ng bag pababa. Okay, so that's why yung tamang paglagay, how you distribute the weight ng mga essentials mo with the backpack is very important, especially if you're gonna go mountaineering activity for days. Okay, so at least hindi masyadong mabigat at mahihirapan ka sa paglalakad. Next essential, aside from the backpack, is we have here the footwear. Now, there are different kinds of footwear that you can use. We have first the hiking shoes. Now, ang hiking shoes, this is more it's a more flexible shoes, pero syempre less support kapag hindi siya bagay sa mga pangmatagalang mga lakad. Next, we have here the hiking boots. Okay. So ito yung medyo average, no? It gives more support and have more protective features, okay, than other hiking footwears. Next, we have here the backpacking boots. So usually, this is very needed during trekking. And since you have to travel to walk for how many days, okay, and you're carrying heavy loads because of the things that you need for the number of days or months, okay, so backpacking boots is best for this. So these are just examples po ng mga footwear. So you can see there, this is the hiking shoes. We have here some hiking boots and the backpacking boots. So these boots are specially designed, especially kung gaano katagal. Okay, it would help the the mountaineer, no, para mas ma-relax, and it would protect the feet, okay, while walking in a long period of hours. And let's have here the next is the trekking poles. Now, what is this trekking pole? I guess you have some idea, no? And here for trekking poles, usually this is an aid. It assists yung mga hikers or yung trekkers, especially if they are walking in a challenging terrain, yung mga dadaanan nila na medyo mahirap or pataas, for example, this would help them. And also for some hikers or mountaineers na they have problem with their knees, this could aid them, no, para hindi rin masyadong mabigla at mapuwersa ang kanilang mga tuhod. Now we have here the other essentials. What are these other must-have essentials? Now, aside from the footwear, the trekking poles, and even the backpack, okay, these are the things that you have to bear in mind when you plan to go hiking or trekking. So we have first the first aid kit. Okay, sabi ni Mayan kagad, no, food, yes. Food is very essential. Opo, tama po yan. It is very essential. Lahat ng mga klase ng pagkain. But for food, no, sabi ni Maya, no, mas okay na dali nating mga food yung mga hindi masyadong napapanis. Especially if you have to stay in a number of days or weeks. So first aid kit, it's very important as well in case of emergency, kapag may nagkasakit, in case na may hindi inaasahang aksidente. So you have this first aid kit to treat the injuries or even wounds. Yes, you have their water and then trail food. You were able to plan na dapat yung pagkain at tubig na kailangan mo in the number of days that you have to spend in the mountain. Next, we also have the sleeping essentials. You have to protect yourself from insects, okay, lalo na baka may allergy ka sa mga insect bites. And aside from that, to protect you from a cold weather, or even kapag umulan. So somehow you could have your sleeping bags, okay, your tents. Next one, you have their cooking essentials. So usually where you have to cook your food. Other than that, you have the two-way radio, cell phone, and also extra batteries in case of emergency. We can use this one if there would be some instances na uncontrollable and we have to seek help from people to help us. It's either during medical talagang emergencies. Next, we have their topographic map trail or map, okay, so that it will guide you, okay, sa mga dadaanan ninyo, and it would also prevent you to go to some areas in the mountain na dangerous. Next is insect repellent or sunscreen to protect yourselves. As I have mentioned, maybe you have some allergies to insect bite. Next, you have their fire starters and matches. And aside from that, multi-tool or knife. So it's either for cooking, okay, or you have to cut something, or even kung wood din. So you have this multi-tool or knife. And lastly, syempre, yung sufficient food, okay? Because it will also give you energy and it makes you happy when you eat. All right. Okay, now these are the other essentials. So aside from the backpack, trekking pole, and the footwear. So these are the things that you have to bear in mind if you plan to engage in such mountaineering activities. All right? Okay. Now, let's have some basic skills in hiking and trekking. So, from knowing the different things that you have to bring, ano naman kaya yung mga importante din na dapat nyong malaman if you involve yourself to hiking and trekking? So sabi ng iba kanina, you haven't experienced hiking and then trekking. Well, earlier as well, you have heard, okay, the different benefits. Okay, it's fun, especially for hiking. It's a leisure work. It's a leisure walk for hiking, and once you see the sceneries, okay, you feel the breeze of the wind. Okay, it makes you relax, it makes you feel better, no? So maganda rin na avenue ang mountaineering activities, okay, para not just to make us fit, okay, or physically active, no, but it could also you can also find joy or peace. Yung iba kasi gusto nagme-meditate sa mountain. All right, so let's consider the basic skills in hiking and trekking. So first, you have to remember, you have to set your hiking space. Malaman mo din, the hiker must know how to determine yung pacing ng inyong katawan. Aside from that, napaka-importante din po, no, na you have to you also have to consider yung preparation ng inyong heart, ng inyong lungs, and even your legs para sa mahabang lakaran. Okay. And it's very good. It's a good way if you establish yung good pacing na tinatawag, okay? Para at least it would you would enjoy, okay, and you would sustain your energy for a prolonged walk. Now there are tips that you can do to find your pace, no? Now pwedeng ang tao kasi, no, mapapansin nyo, there are people na napakabilis nilang maglakad. May mga tao naman na ang bagal nilang maglakad, and there are some people na moderately ang paglalakad nila. But when you engage in this kind of activity, you also have to set your pace. Okay? Paano kapag nagsama-sama ang mga mabibilis maglakad, mabagal maglakad, all right? So we have to, we have to set our pace kasi you're in a group, okay? Hindi naman pwede rin kayo ay mag-iwanan. Now, these are some tips to find your pace. So you can start out a pace that kumbaga fairly in an easy walk for 5 minutes muna, no? Okay? Yung tamang yung same length lang ng pag-step, okay? And even in a same speed. Okay? And then after that, after for 5 minutes walk, no, you can stop and then check your breathing. Kung ito ay, do you think if it's a normal breathing, then maaari mo nang i-increase paunti-unti yung pacing mo and you could start over. And kapag sa tingin mo naman, yung sa paglalakad mo, no, you are breathing heavily or nagsusweat ka na, so this could be the time that you have to slow down your pace. So i-repeat nyo lang yan until you could be able to settle your pacing. Okay, so meaning to say it would barely raises your breathing rate, okay, but hindi na kayo masyadong magpapawis. Okay, so those are some tips that you can do, right, to find your pace. Right, kasi kailangan din natin makiayo, no, sa mga kasama natin with our members in the group while we are leisurely walking on the mountain. Aside from that, you have to establish your rhythm. So after setting your pace, you have to establish your rhythm. Now, yung rhythm na yon, yung requires ng yung inyong breathing rate, okay, and yung pacing ng paglalakad nyo for a long time. Okay? Maaaring yung sa ritmo ng inyong paglalakad, no? You can swing your arms synchronous, okay? Doon sa step mo, so that it would help you maintain a good momentum. So sa pacing, this is one tip. You can swing your arms to synchronize to your step. Okay, so those are some of the basic skills in hiking and trekking. You have there the setting your hike space, and also establish your rhythm. So I hope pag natapos din ang ating kondisyon when it comes to COVID-19, sa ngayon you could keep it in your bucket list. Okay, aside from wall climbing, itong mountaineering activity, to make you physically active. Sabi niyo nga kanina, it can improve your cardiovascular endurance. It's one avenue to bond with your friends, to keep the relationship or to make the relationship stronger. Okay? In mental aspect, it's a good place for you to meditate, to reflect. Okay, and especially with the environment, no, you can find joy and or happiness with the things that you see around. Now, here, next natin is I want you to show here a video, okay, about some good places to go for mountaineering activities, and try to be amazed with our nature. So please enjoy watching. All right, there you have it. So, by watching this kind of video, no, the people on the video, ano po kaya ang sa tingin yung pakiramdam? Ano kaya? How would you feel if you are in this kind of place? Sige nga po, students, no? Even though you haven't experienced this hiking or trekking, no? Ano po kaya ang mararamdaman nyo if you are in this kind of place? Ano kaya sa tingin nyo, no, ang magiging epekto sa inyo? What could be your one word, okay, experience? Okay? Now here, so personally ako when I was able to experience hiking, no, it's I was really happy because I enjoy nature. Yung hangin na enjoy ko, yung huni ng mga ibon, I do really enjoy it. Okay? How about you, students? Okay, for Lanilyn, sabi niya, no, satisfaction. Okay? Ano kayang klaseng satisfaction yan, Lanilyn, no? For Channeling naman, it's challenging. So sa kanya, na-challenge siya. Especially, just imagine, no, saang lugar ka kaya pupunta. Alright? Saang bundok na wherein you can see ang ganda ng Pilipinas somehow. Okay? And for Evelyn, no, she finds peace and comfort. Okay, especially if you're able to reach the top of the mountain, no? Ano kaya ang pakiramdam nyo na it's a means of satisfaction. You're able to reach the top of the mountain and you can enjoy finally the view. Okay. For my end, sabi niya, it's fun. Okay. So I hope by just watching the video and also learning the different characteristic or the nature of mountaineering, no, you're able to find fun and you find it positive to engage to this kind of physical activity. So thank you for your comments po. And let's wrap up po, no? Okay. Now, let's wrap up our lesson for today. So this is just a simple activity po, no? So I want you to match the usage and description of the tools and equipment to each picture. So you have here the different pictures, no? You have the first aid. This one is a trekking pole, hiking shoes, the backpack, the map. Okay, so please type in your answer. Let's have the first one. So you just have to type sa comment box ang inyong answer. So number 1, this is the most important equipment for hiking and trekking. It is known as your home on your backpack. What is your answer? Yes, that is correct. Okay. Yeah, known as the home on your backpack. Yes, that is correct. The answer is the letter B. It's backpack. Very good. Okay, let's move on to, yes, it's letter B. Very good, Evelyn. Let's move on to number 2. This is an essential aid for those with knee problems, which provide lateral stability on steep slopes and aid in climbing rocks or boulders. So it would assist the hikers or the trekkers, especially in a very challenging terrain. Okay, your answer is? All right, so the answer is, yes, that is correct. Okay, we have there letter C. Next, okay, what is this footwear? It is lighter than boots and it has more flexible, but it offers less support. Okay, yes. So this is for number 3. Your answer for number 3, we have... Okay, very good. Yes, that is correct. Ang ating answer, we have letter E for Mayen. Yes, same thing with Evelyn and then Lanilyn. Good job, students. For the 4th question, it presents the vertical position of features in measurable form as well as their horizontal positions that leads to finding a specific location. So this is also one of the must-have essential. Okay, what is your answer? Yeah, in your comment box. Yes, the answer is, yeah, from Mayan, from Clarice. Okay, yeah, the answer is letter D. Good work. And the last one, It is a collection of medical tools and equipment necessary for a possible hike or trek injuries. Yes, that is right. So, ang natitira na lang po natin, yes, this medical tool is usually, yes, Channelin's answer is first aid, same thing with Mayan, with Angelica, okay, and Illuminada, very good answer. Yes, good job, students. Okay, so these are the essentials, the must-have essentials when you engage to mountaineering activities. Okay, and let me give you this quote po, no, by Joseph Smith Jr. Never be discouraged. If I were sunk in the lowest pits of Nova Scotia with the Rocky Mountains piled on me, I would hang on, exercise faith, and keep up good courage, and I would come out on top. So I hope, even though we are experiencing challenging emotions, challenging finances, or even stress or depression, since we have limited activities, and we are always we are encouraged to stay at home to keep ourselves as well safe and healthy. So I hope, no, you would hang on, you would exercise your faith, okay, and still you would continue pursuing all your dreams, your endeavors, keeping a good relationship with your family, and being positive despite of the negativities that we hear, we watch from media, or everything that we experience as well within our families. So I hope always exercise faith and have the courage. Okay? And let me end again. I hope with the things that we've learned, even though we also have limited activities, please be tougher than your excuses and dare to be fit. Once again, maraming salamat po para sa inyong kooperasyon, sa inyong partisipasyon para sa ating Week 3 for third quarter sa Health Optimizing Physical Education. This is your tutor Shen, and magkikita po tayong muli next week to have our lesson 4. All right, so marami pong salamat, and God bless everybody. Keep safe.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!